Hello, this is Drunk Daniel at fucking. Hold on a second. At 10:25 in the fucking morning when I need to be asleep because I gotta get up because my wife has to go to work fucking 4.5 hours early. So, anyways, for some stupid fucking reason, my beard is getting thicker. So, anyway, some stupid reason, I've got to read M4G. And you know what happens when you read M4G? You get fucking mad. You're like, what the fuck are these people even talking about? After I've drinking two big ass fucking Red's Wicked ales, and I'm fucking half off the rocker, so I'm a little bit tipsy. Just a little bit tipsy. So, anyways, I'm laying in bed. If you don't like that, you know what you can do? You can click off this. If you're watching on a PC, click that little X button up there in that little tab section, or you can click the back button. You can go somewhere else. That's how I feel. And if you're on a phone, I don't know. I can't remember what the Apple phone does, but if you're on an Android phone, go ahead and click that little button right there. It'll back you up. It will, I promise ye. So, anyways, I'm a little flush. I'm reading this and they're talking about Gears did good, but not as good as God of War. Which somebody responds hilariously and says, well, God of War or something didn't do as good as Mario Kart 8. Or name any fucking Nintendo first party franchise that did really fucking exceptional. Um, what what people fail to understand uh, is that God of War did well, but Gears of War were fucking doing this numbers every fucking game that came out during the 360 era. So who cares? You want to start fucking pounding chess on first party titles? Nothing Sony has put out has ever eclipsed anything from fucking Halo money wise, and nothing Sony will ever do will ever equal what fucking Microsoft does in a fucking quarter. Microsoft is $1 trillion company or close to it. It goes back and forth depending on the stocks. But they're basically $1 trillion company. Sony has two profitable fucking segments of their fucking company: PlayStation and their insurance company. Now, I'm not saying that Sony is going to go under or that I want Sony to fail, because I don't want Sony to fail. I don't want Nintendo to fail, even though I don't really like Nintendo outside of Zelda. I don't want Microsoft to fail. I don't want anyone to fail, okay? Because competition is good. And competition creates better shit for us gamers. I own a PS4. Um, so I want Sony to succeed, and I want fucking Microsoft to do better. And I want Nintendo to do better. I mean, do better outside of the shit they already do really well in. Nintendo does really well in like a small amount of fucking categories, right? So you could put out a Mario game, and they haven't always put out great Mario games. All right, so they've put out some kind of Mario games in the past. I don't like Mario, but Mario games. Put out Luigi Mansion, which has been really interesting. Um, but oh my god, dude, it's hard to remember when you're two giant reds, and maybe some of you drink too much, and so it doesn't bother you, but it bothers me too much. So, anyways, it just we're at the point, I think, and I know there's a lot of new people coming in that are really young, and if you're watching this and you're like 12, 13, 14, 15, and you're just getting into the nitty gritty, I've been there. I remember it back in the early, even if you're in your early 20s, right? And your late teens, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. You know, you're in that. You're kind of in. You're still pretty young, and this stuff matters to you. I don't hate you for it. Uh, but what I recommend is that you stop focusing on that because that's the kind of crap we focused on too. I'm 39, so I remember when it was important. I remember when VG charts first came out, and there was another website that did really well for a while there. Uh, and the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox was so hard to get a hold of. There was a website dedicated to finding the systems. Um, so sales was really important for a long time. Not so important now, especially now that services are so slowly starting to take over. Um, and it's important, and I think Sony has kind of been. Uh, I don't want to call them behind the ball, right? Because the ball hasn't really started rolling really hard yet. But when it starts rolling really hard, probably in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years, Sony's going to have to get on board. They're going to have to get on board. Um, and I don't know if they could pull it off if they're late to the fucking game again. So they were really late to the online game. Xbox Live came out in 2001. I've had an account since then. Although my account at that time was a horrible name. It wasn't a horrible name like you can't say it in front of your grandmother, horrible name. It's just a horrible name that it makes no goddamn sense to people that don't watch Dragon Ball Z or anime in general. I guess anime in general. So it was Vegeta no Aoji. So it was the Prince Vegeta. Vegeta Prince. So it made no sense to most people. And I remember realizing that it wasn't a great name. I was 35, 40 hours into Rainbow Six. Was it Rainbow Six? I'm trying to remember what Rainbow Six it was. It was on the Xbox OG, so it might have been one of the original Rainbow Sixes. But anyways, I'm playing online, and we were playing, if I can remember correctly, I'm thinking it was a house. It might have been a drug dealer, and we were outside. This is what happens when you're drunk. You can suddenly remember way into the past when you were 22 years old, 23 years old, and you're 39 now. So I remember I'm outside, I'm way in the past, and I just clock, and I nail a guy, and then I nail another guy, and then I get jacked, right? And the guy behind me just starts friggin' cussing me out. He's like, "You're a piece of shit. When was the last time you played this game? Have you even ever played this level?" He's like, "You need to friggin' play this level on a testing," but I can't remember the fuck. But he just goes off on me. I'm like, dude. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Leave me alone. I'm just trying to play the game. He's like, "How many hours have you played?" I'm like, like 20, 30 hours. He's like, "It takes about 45 to 50 hours to get really good at this game." And this is back before the whole toxicity, the whole hate culture on gaming. As I remember, shit was fucking hilarious back in the day. You can go on YouTube and listen to some of this stuff. But he's like going off on me, and he's like, "How many hours you played this game?" I'm like, 20, 30 hours. He's like, "It takes about 45, 50 hours when you get really good at this game. So you just gotta keep on pushing it. Keep on with the game, man. You'll be good." I'm like, this guy went from cussing me out to like, "Hey, man, you can do better. Just keep at it, man. Don't let assholes get you down like me." So I don't even know where I'm coming from. Oh, that's right. All right. So the PlayStation launched. They said that it was going to be just like the Matrix. You would jack into the PlayStation. How much jacking in did you do on the PlayStation? Jesus fucking Christ. That was a goddamn mess. And I know a lot of people enjoy the online services on the PlayStation. I played a lot of the. Anybody remember Resident Evil Outbreak? I think what it was called. That was pretty fun. I played a lot of that. I know a lot of people love SOCOM, SOCOM 2, SOCOM 3. That might have been on PlayStation 3. Can't remember. So a lot of people liked the SOCOM games. There's a couple other games on the PlayStation 2 that a lot of people liked, multiplayer wise, but nothing really. There was no like overarching service called the PlayStation Network. That happened. I remember Microsoft talking about how important Xbox Live was to the Xbox 360, and they're saying Xbox Live was basically the Xbox 360. And there were people at Sony saying Microsoft is putting all their eggs in one basket. And when they realized, I don't know when they realized, but they realized, oh shit, this is really important. Maybe after the launch of the Xbox 360, they're like, oh my god, we need something that can compete. And they put out this shitty service. And if anybody says it wasn't shitty when it started, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. There's a lot of shit that happened. Up to and including the hack. Which didn't just include you fuckers at goddamn PlayStation 3 consoles. I had an SOE account and I was affected. And I didn't get no fucking protection. And I should have. But anyways, I don't have that account anymore. Now it's a Daybreak account. I do play my EverQuest every now and then. I need to play again. What's today? The 19th. It's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday, my wife, if you watch this. But you won't. So anyways. Up and including that. And it just improved over time to what you got now, which is an inferior version of Xbox Live, but it's still a really good service. Sony doesn't quite have the infrastructure. They will have the infrastructure. They will basically have Xbox Live infrastructure pretty soon. I don't know how long it will take to migrate all of that over, but it's eventually, hopefully, going to all be on one service. So everybody will be using Azure. And if the rumors are true, so will Nintendo. And when everybody's using the same service, everybody will be equal. But back in the day, it was the Wild West on the PlayStation 2, and Microsoft basically brought it all together and said, you have one account, Xbox Live, and you will be on everything. And I remember Madden didn't want anything to do with that. Fucking EA didn't want anything to do with that. So none of their online services came over. Until Microsoft finally, Don Matrick, I should say, finally gave in to that bullshit. And I don't think Microsoft should have ever gave it in and allowed other companies to get control of the Xbox servers. I don't know if that deal went out and then Microsoft regained control of all Xbox servers, or if they still have their own Xbox Live servers, or how that whole thing worked out. That would be interesting. I'll need to look that up. But the whole sales thing, that's over. As far as, where are we going? As far as sales go, per individual sales of a copy of a game, especially on the Xbox Game Pass, especially with first party titles, it's over. Stop talking about it. It doesn't matter anymore. A lot of people like, you can eat $1. Who hasn't used their $1 Xbox Live Ultimate fucking Game Pass thing that owns an Xbox? I mean, how many people haven't used it already? There have been a lot of games that released that were really good. There are a lot of really good games on PC, a lot of really good games on Xbox. So how many people everybody's like, for $1 you can play it, and for a month, and then you can just cancel your account, and I'm doing I'm doing a imitation of uh, Review Tech or whatever gamer or whatever the hell his name is. USA Review Tech USA or whatever his name is. You just gotta do it like that. All right. So, anyways, stop this crap. Microsoft is on a totally different way of doing shit right now. They've basically bought into the service model, and the service model is basically the future. Anybody that doesn't realize that, how many people are quitting cable services and satellite companies right now and just going over to Netflix and Hulu and Peacock? What a horrible fucking name! What was NBC thinking? Anyways, I guess it makes sense, but for people outside of the U.S., it makes no goddamn sense to call your service Peacock. Um, so, anyways, so all of these services, all these streaming services that are available, are basically making cable companies and satellite companies go out of business. Why even have satellite or cable when you can spend $25 a month on Hulu, a Netflix, a Hulu account, and maybe every now and then you'll pay for a month of Disney, to rewatch Star Wars or something like that. So, anyways, that's the future. It's not quite here yet for gaming, but we are not that far away from it. I'm 39 years old. People, it feels like fucking yesterday that the Dreamcast came out and we finally got real online gaming on consoles. It doesn't even feel like that long ago. I can sit here, all right, and remember being 16 years old playing Doom Online, okay? I can remember these things. It wasn't that long ago for me. One day you will be me. You will be me. Laying in a bed, recording a video for YouTube, being like, I remember the day when you bought freaking games from a store called GameStop. You could even go to Walmart and buy games. Now you can't even do that. All you do is buy these little cards and you download your games. I don't know why they do that anymore. I don't like that. I feel like that's going to be one of you guys that are like 13, 14, 15, 16, whatever, all the way up to your 20, 25 or whatever. You're going to be me in like 20 years thinking, what the fuck happened to gaming? All right, it's 2019. 20 years ago, I was in the fucking United States Marine Corps as a 19-year-old. I just got moved over to my new unit, at 1st Battalion, 10th Marines, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I didn't know what the fuck was going on, dude. I was completely clueless about what's going on. And there's some of you out there, you're 19 years old. In 20 years, you'll be thinking back, what was this company thinking, right? When I was 19, I was thinking, what is Sega doing? And then they come out with the Dreamcast. I'm like, oh shit! Holy shit, this thing is the shit. The Shenmue comes out, and I'm like, oh my god! What the fuck? I remember the first time I saw the fucking killer whale jump over the fucking bridge to attack Sonic, and you just fucking running your little ass off as Sonic, and you're like, oh, this is crazy. That was me. For you guys, you were playing like God of War or fucking or fucking going through Modern Warfare 4 for the first time when the big betrayal mission comes in. These big, huge events that you remember that are just stuck in your head. You're like, oh my god, what the fuck? The first time I was playing NFL 2K and someone came into my room and they were like, holy shit, people are playing football still, it's August. or no, it's September. Like, who's playing, right? Because I'm playing the game. It's a fucking Sunday, right? They're like, the Vikings are playing. Didn't their game just end or some shit like that? For those of you who don't know, uh, when 2K came out, the Vikings still had Randy Moss and Chris Carter. And I would just throw that shit up to Chris Carter, and he'd just fucking reach up, snatch that ball up with one hand, until, I met somebody who knew how to do the cover too. But anyways, we won't talk about that. I was just playing against PC. My buddy, he played the cover two like a motherfucker, and I could never throw that ball up. So anyways, I'm running out of battery, I think. I think that's what that was. That was my phone. It had to be my phone because my other thing is good to go. So anyways, I'm at 20 minutes. I'm just talking shit, bro. So your big thing that's sticking in your head that you can remember now, your God of War, your whatever sticks in your head right now, you're like, oh my God, in 20 years you will think back to that and you'll be like, holy shit. Do you remember that? Do you remember the whale? And I just remember Ramadeth just talked about it. Tony Polanco, you are the shit, Tony. Talking about the whale flying over that thing, and you're just like, oh my God. It was just like it was just a mind-blowing moment in gaming. Technically. NFL 2K, mind-blowing. Soul Calibur, mind-blowing. Just blew your mind and how much different the current industry is compared to the Dreamcast industry. There was DLC on the Dreamcast, by the way. You could buy stuff on the Dreamcast. Digital download content. But, just saying, people, how much different. The Dreamcast ushered in an era of online gaming. I think Microsoft has ushered in the era of service-based gaming. And you know what? You may not like it, and it will really kind of suck because online gaming was kind of for about 6 years until everybody got on the same page, except for Nintendo. Everybody got on the same page and said, all right, we're going to do this. PlayStation Network and Xbox Live. So, look at it now compared to what it was, and when you were playing on the Dreamcast and you were playing on the PlayStation 2, then Xbox Live came out and just fucking changed the game. And there were people arguing about which was the better way of doing things. Nobody argues about that anymore. Nobody argues about that shit anymore. I can't remember. There were services back in the day on PC like GameSpy. They're gone. They're gone because you got fucking Steam and GOG and other services that just are fucking just blow it away. And I believe that's what Game Pass is. And to just give an example, I haven't logged into my Steam account and played a Steam game in I don't fucking know how long. Every now, you know what my Steam is used for? Talking to Apex. You're the shit, Apex. If you've watched this to this time, Apex, go to fucking chat, post a GIF. Because your GIFs are funny. And Tom McDonald for life. Hard for life.